As you know, we're standing here today in the Early Childhood Alliance facility, and it's one of our partner agencies. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Madeline Baker, who is the Executive Director at Early Childhood Alliance.
Early Child Alliance has been a partner with United Way long before it was called a United Way, in fact, before it was called a community chest. And we have been a dual reciprocating partners in that we have all the resources, data, and the tools in early education. And we have 3 child care centers that are state licensed and nationally accredited. And through those 3 centers, we touch the lives of about 300 children on a regular basis, from little bitty 6 weeks old all the way up to, age 5. Our role is to provide learning environment in which children are prepared emotionally, psychologically, socially, and certainly academically to prepare for ready to enter school, ready to succeed. Because we all know in order for our children to compete globally, they have to be prepared in their early years. And unfortunately, with that said, without the support from funding sources like United Way, not all children are able to have that experience. And our vision really is, ambitiously, we would like all children to have those experiences.
Thank you again, Madeline, for really demonstrating how critical United Way is to the success of many organizations, in particular the good work that Early Childhood Alliance does. A good opportunity to turn it over to Steve Smith, our person who really is instrumental on our board in helping the community raise the funds this year through our community campaign. Steve?
Years we've been successful in increasing our total giving and our total giving per capita, which is a remarkable accomplishment in this economic environment. I'm sure everyone would agree. Last year we came in at $13.79, but you always have to compare yourself to your peers and to your community around you. And so Todd and Chris helped us with the research, and it shows that we have to establish a goal that's commensurate with the community that we have. All of us chose, one way or another, to live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was born here, moved back here in 1983. And, we all love this community for one way or another, and we continue to live here and make our living here. And we all have a certain sense of pride when we go someplace else and say we're from Fort Wayne. United Way needs to distinguish itself going forward that to people who can make a donation, we are the institution that merits that investment. And so we've set a goal for this year, $5,339,823, and Chris wants me to throw in a quarter. Where did we get that number? Well, if we take last year's population times $15.03, which is the average for communities in Indiana, that's how we get to the number. Now that represents a substantial increase. It's not the little softball, hit it out of the ballpark goal that you could set. It would be easy for us to set a goal of $5 million. We did $4,914,000 last year. Bump it up a little bit, go for that. Sure, at the end of the day, we'd probably hit it. Certainly, with all the resources that we have in terms of boots on the ground, we're in a better position than we ever have before. And I'd like to introduce to you our new Resource Development Director, Chris Rouse, who about his first or second day was out on campaign calls with me, so he knows what boots on the ground are all about. So please welcome Chris to the field.
What I'd like to tell you is that Steve is a great example of a lead volunteer, and let's give him an extra round of applause along with our campaign cabinet. One of the things that Steve has accomplished recently over the last 2 years is he's helped us not only get more boots on the ground, but people helping us to initiate CEO calls and actually executing CEO calls. With his hard work and leadership, he's helped to recruit more than 100 ambassadors to help us do that work. Just want to say thank you to Steve for that. And I'd like to give you 4 top-line items of how we're going to reinvigorate and focus our campaign efforts. Number 1 is to really have some strong year-round engagement. We want to ensure that all of our local people and colleagues in this community know how their dollars are being utilized. Second, we as campaign staff and all of our colleagues really enjoy engaging with different workplace coordinators. Those are people that are really the engines within the workplace campaigns that make big things happen. So we want to say thank you to them and let you know that we're really looking forward to our engagement this year. Also, organized labor has always been a strong partner, and I am very intent on making sure that we build on that strong relationship. And I'd like to thank all the organized labor folks that are here today. Just a strong, great partnership. And then finally, what would any great campaign be without a focus on new business development? We have, I think, a very significant opportunity to find more organizations and individuals that we have not engaged with before. So we're really looking for individuals that are willing to give anything, but in particular, we're focused on leadership giving, people that would consider giving $1,000 or more. Now, in closing, I'd like to make sure that you all know that as Tia said, I'm brand new to Fort Wayne and very excited to be here. And what I've learned recently is that we have a very impressive community and a very impressive United Way. And this United Way is really supported by a great collaboration of partners and organizations to help us to deliver our results. And that's what I'm most excited about. What I'd like to tell you is that one of the things we're here for is to help to break the cycle of poverty. I'm here to really just ask for your ongoing support, and I'd like to reach out to each citizen, all the residents, to join us and help us make a huge difference here at the United Way of Allen County. So I'd like to say thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Todd Stevenson.
Homelessness is an extremely chaotic lifestyle. People have moved from place to place to place. The shelter is not the first place they go to when they lose their space. They've probably moved 10 to 15 times before they get to a shelter door. Stayed with people who, have finally said, sorry, you can't stay here anymore. Children staying in situations that might be dangerous for them, or going to school wondering if they're going to have some place to stay when they get home from school. They have a lot of mental health and physical health problems due to the whole chaotic lifestyle of homelessness. So our goal is to help them stabilize, and the United Way funding that we receive helps us keep the door open here. This is the starting point for families. Without this, I know we're moving to more rapid rehousing, but you need a starting point. You can't say, okay, it's going to take me 2-3 weeks to get the paperwork done, and so you'll just have to stay on the street because we're not funding shelters anymore. So this is the starting point for families, and I want to emphasize the programs that United Way actually funds, because these two programs are absolutely vital. I call them the heart of this organization, even though we have more programs in the community. These two programs are the heart of Vincent Village.
And really what 211 is connecting individuals that are in need of services to resources within their local community. Typical calls for us are really around basic needs. Individuals looking for rent, utilities, food assistance, and those types of resources and services. Every year we have hundreds of unmet needs. Typically those unmet needs surround somebody that their resource or their need is so great that even a multitude of community agencies couldn't pull dollars together. For example, with coming up on our utility assistance, if somebody has a very high utility bill that needs met, it's very hard to put together 2 or 3 agencies sometimes to pay a $1,000 utility bill. So that's an example of an unmet need. It is clearly a critical need to have 211 in our communities, which is why I want to encourage all of you to help us reach our goal of $5,339,823. Make a contribution and help us reach that goal.